In 2007, I was listening to the radio. My handheld transistor radio was my best friend at that time. I've always wanted to work in a radio station. It was my big dream. But as I was tuning the radio that day, something happened. I stumbled on a new radio station, a Pidgin English radio station. It had never been done before. Pidgin English broadcast on the airwaves. How come? But as I listened to the presenter, the way Pidgin English was rolling off their tongue with finesse, I knew this is what I wanted to do. The likes of your Mache, the presenters at that time on air, they fascinated me. Every time I listened to them, I wanted to be like them. I told myself, I'm going to work in this radio station, but I don't know who to contact. How do I even get them to audition me? How do I even get them to listen to me? I didn't know anybody. I was so worried. So for days, months, I kept on listening to Wazobia FM, telling myself I'm going to work in this radio station. One day as I was listening, an announcement came on. In fact, the announcement was in Pidgin English. If you know, say you go feed what we do on top Wazobia FM, or yeah, make you send us your CV sharp on top this email. Immediately I ran out of my house with my crutches. I ran to the nearest cyber cafe and I applied. I sent my CV. Now, funny enough, I did not have any experience, but I just dabbled something on my CV and sent. I waited for days. I didn't get a reply. Weeks, I didn't get a reply. And weeks grew into months. Months became 1 year. For 1 year, I didn't get a reply, but I never stopped. I kept on going back to the cyber cafe. I kept on sending my CV every week. 1 year became 2 years. 2 years became 3 years. 3 years became 4 years. 5 years, 6 years, and 7 years. My dream of working with Wazobia FM gradually started fading away. I became hopeless. I was feeling kind of discouraged. How do I get? In fact, one of those days I went to the radio station. At the gate, I said I wanted to go in. They said, do I have an appointment? I said, no. They said, you can't come in if you don't have an appointment. How am I going to do this? I went back home. I was home, worried after 7 years of sending my CV every single week. I got a call from the Prince of Wazobia FM, Egos. Egos I had met back in school, in my university days in Delta State University, Abraka. Egos was in Uniben, but he had come to my school to perform as a comedian. Somehow I got his contact, but after graduation, I misplaced his contact, so I couldn't reach him. So all that time I was trying to work at Wazobia FM, I couldn't get Egos. But that day I got a phone call, and the phone call was from Egos, and he said, hello, is this Baba K? I said, yes. He said, this is Egos. I said, Egos of Wazobia FM? He said, yes. He said, I heard that you've been trying to work with us. I said, how did you know? He said, that doesn't matter right now. That's not important right now. We are looking for Pidgin English news broadcasters. Can you read news in Pidgin English? Immediately I said, yes. He said, okay, if you can get here in 1 hour, they'll be willing to audition you. And out of excitement, I reached out to my friend Odogu, the comedy machine. Big shout out to Odogu. And also big shout out to Egos. And Odogu drove me down to Wazobia FM. And when I got to Wazobia FM, as I was about to step in for the interview and audition, I remembered I didn't come with my CV. I didn't even come with my credentials. How could I have forgotten my CV and my credentials on the most important day of my life? How am I even going to prove that I'm a graduate? How? But then I went in, and somehow they never asked for my CV. They never even asked for my credentials. They handed me a news bulletin written in English, and they asked me, can you transcribe from English to Pidgin English? I said yes. So I thought they were going to give me time to go outside and transcribe that news bulletin to Pidgin English. They said, no, you are going to transcribe it on the spot. How am I going to do this? I think I was hoping I was going to get time to just go outside and transcribe from English to Pidgin English, but they said, transcribe it on the spot. With no experience. But as I was about to do that, I remember, I have done this before. You see, a year ago, I went for a reality TV show by Supersport. Yes, the popular Supersport. They put together a reality TV show called Follow Your Mouth. It was a Pidgin English reality TV show for football commentators in Pidgin English. In fact, we were only two that got to the finals. Myself and Timi Owoye Wise, who currently works with Wazobia FM as a sports presenter. Big shout out to Timmy Warrior Wise. And we both struggled it out that day. We were going back and forth. The crowd was cheering. In fact, the crowd was even cheering more for me. So I was so confident that I was going to win. And somehow I lost to the best man. Timmy Warrior Wise won that reality TV show, and he became the first Pidgin English football commentator in Nigeria. So every time you watch any, big football tournament, you're always going to hear Timmy Warrior Wise on Super Sport running Pidgin English football commentary. This is not definitely going to be hard for me. I think I can transcribe this immediately. So immediately I started transcribing from English to Pidgin English off the top of my head from the news bulletin that was given to me. And I was just doing it. I kept on going until I heard stop. And I'm like, wait a minute. What did I do wrong? And they said, that's enough. You can go out now. And in my head, I was so worried. I'm like, I hope I've not messed this up. And so I went out, sat down at the lobby, worried, waiting for them to call me back in. They never called me back in. As I was worried, there was so much anxiety. I heard a voice, Babaki, what did you do here? And I raised my head. It was Nedu of Wazobia FM. Now, one thing you did not know is that a year ago when I went for that Super Sport reality TV show as a Pidgin English football commentator, Nedu of Wazobia FM was one of the judges in that reality TV show. In fact, somehow I think he wanted me to win, but the other judges decided to go the other way. So Nedu saw me that day and asked, what are you doing here? I said, I came for an interview for the role of a newscaster. I said, I'm also a newscaster here. I said, I know. He went in and he spoke to the guys who interviewed me, and I couldn't hear what he was saying, but in my head, I think I was kind of reading his lips, and I think I heard him say, you guys cannot afford to lose that guy. He's good. I've seen him before. He's done something like this before with Super Sport. We need this guy. And he stepped out of the office. He just told me, Babake, make with a C. So I left. A week I didn't hear from them. 2 weeks I didn't hear from them. I think after 3 weeks, one day my phone rang. I picked up the phone and they said, hello, this is Cool Wazobia Info. It's called Cool FM Wazobia and Nigeria Info. Same company owns the 3 radio stations. And so they said, congratulations, you've been offered employment with us at Wazobia FM and Wazobia TV. At that time was WeTV. I was jumping with excitement. Now, it was the best news I've ever heard. Why am I saying this? A dream I've waited for 7 years. A dream I have waited for 7 years. I've actually even started losing hope that this dream wasn't even going to happen anymore. But for 7 years, I kept on applying. I never got a response, but I just kept the faith that it was going to happen. I believed that it was going to happen. You see, most times your dreams takes time to fully become reality. Every dream takes time to fully form. Just the same way every baby in a mother's womb takes time to fully form. It may not be happening immediately. It may not happen now. It may not happen tomorrow. But as long as you keep believing and keep pushing, that dream will finally become a reality.
Story.